Imagine waking up one morning, stretching your arms, and realizing you have not two, but four fully functional arms. You reach for your phone with one hand, brush your teeth with another, pour yourself coffee with a third, and flip through a book with the fourth all at the same time. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? But what if this wasn't just science fiction? What if humans actually evolved to have four arms? How would our brains adapt? How would society change? And most importantly, is such a transformation even biologically possible? Let's dive into the science behind extra limbs, what it would take for humans to develop them, and how our lives would be drastically different in a world where having four arms was the norm. Could humans evolve to have four arms? To answer this, we need to look at how human evolution works. Our bodies are the result of millions of years of adaptation, with each feature serving a specific purpose based on our environment and survival needs. Most vertebrates, including mammals, follow a common body plan to arms and to legs because of a deep evolutionary blueprint known as tetrapod symmetry. This means that, historically, four limbs were enough to help our ancestors climb, run, grasp, and manipulate objects. However, nature isn't limited to just four limbs. Take insects, for example. Many of them have 6 legs, octopuses have 8 arms. Even some extinct species, like certain ancient arthropods, had multiple pairs of limbs. Theoretically, if there was a strong evolutionary advantage to having 4 arms, human ancestors could have developed them. But for that to happen, our environment would have needed to demand a change in our anatomy. Would an extra pair of arms provide an evolutionary benefit? If we lived in a world where our survival depended on multitasking at an extreme level, say, swinging through dense forests like primates, or building intricate structures, perhaps natural selection would favor additional limbs. The biology of extra arms lets assume, for a moment, that through genetic engineering or extreme evolutionary adaptation, humans somehow developed 4 arms. How would our bodies support them? For starters, our skeletal structure would need major changes. The human shoulder girdle is already complex, with a system of muscles, tendons, and bones allowing for a wide range of movement. Adding another pair of arms would require an entirely new attachment point, either by extending our ribcage or developing a second clavicle system. Then there's the neurology of it. Right now, our brain's motor cortex is mapped to control just 2 arms and 2 legs. If humans suddenly had 4 arms, our brains would need to process double the amount of movement data. This means a much larger section of the brain would have to be dedicated to arm control, likely requiring a bigger or more complex cerebral cortex. How would 4 arms change society? A 4-armed human race would completely reshape the way we live, work, and interact with the world. Let's consider some aspects of daily life that would be dramatically different. Work and productivity. Jobs that require dexterity and precision like surgery, engineering, and craftsmanship would be revolutionized. Imagine a surgeon being able to hold a retractor, suture a wound, adjust a monitor, and wipe their forehead all without needing an assistant. Artists could paint with multiple brushes at once, and musicians could play entirely new types of instruments that take advantage of multiple arms. In physically demanding jobs, 4 arms would be an advantage as well. Construction workers could carry twice as much material. Mechanics could assemble parts without switching tools. Office workers might even be able to type 2 emails at once. Sports and physical abilities. Athletics would look completely different. Basketball players could block, dribble, and shoot all at the same time. Fighters in combat sports would have an entirely new set of strategies, grappling and striking simultaneously. Gymnastics would evolve with routines that take advantage of extra gripping points. Would 4-armed people be faster or stronger? Not necessarily. While extra arms provide more ability to manipulate objects, they also add weight and require more energy. The balance of speed, endurance, and strength would depend on how efficiently the extra limbs worked in coordination with the body. Fashion and clothing. A simple t-shirt design, forget about it. Clothes would have to be designed with 4 sleeves, changing the way we approach fashion entirely. Buttons, zippers, and even pockets would have to be positioned differently. Accessories, like wristwatches and bracelets, might be worn on different arms for different purposes. Would extra arms make people more attractive? Maybe. Throughout history, beauty standards have evolved based on what's rare or desirable. In a society where 4 arms were normal, perhaps arm symmetry or limb length would play a bigger role in physical attraction, technology, and tools. From keyboards to smartphones, most of our technology designed for two-handed use. In a four-armed world, everything would be built differently. Keyboards might be split into quadrants, gaming controllers could feature additional buttons, and even vehicles might be designed with four-arm control systems, the future of extra limbs. While natural evolution might not give us four arms anytime soon, technology might. Scientists are already developing robotic exoskeletons and AI-controlled prosthetic limbs. In the near future, humans might not be born with extra arms, but we could build them. Imagine putting on a lightweight exoskeleton that gives you two extra robotic arms, fully integrated with your nervous system. You could use them to carry groceries, cook, work, or even play musical instruments in ways never before possible.